This is the new 10-inch table saw by Warrior from Harbor Freight. Let's take a look at this thing. We'll go through all the numbers, but first, let's get her unboxed. Alright, here it is out of the box, completely set up. I didn't include the setup. It was kind of boring, a lot of swearing, didn't think you needed to see that. Okay, so let's go over some of the features of this guy so you can get an idea of what this thing's like. Okay, starting in the front here, you have a very clearly labeled green and red on-off switches. You also have your bevel adjustments here. There's a lock knob right here that you loosen up, so when you want to change your bevel, you can roll that guy along and then lock that back in place, and then use your height adjustment handle here to adjust the height of your blade. Okay, your rip fence right here is also very easy to use. You just adjust it using the scale on the side right here as to where you want to trim your board or whatever you're working with to. Get it nice and tight up against the side here. Push the lock handle down and it's nice and tight. One feature I really like is the blade guards and how easy they are to remove. There's a tab right here, the little lock tab. You pull that up, grab the handle, just lift up and it comes right off. The miter gauge on here is also pretty slick. It slides very easily, and you have your lock knob so you can adjust your angle. And there's also a nice little arrow right here where you need to get the correct degree, line it up to the arrow, lock it in place, and you're good to go. Another cool feature I wanted to show you is the push stick. It has these cool little tabs down here that hold it in place, so after you're done with whatever you're working on, you stick it right back into place and you don't lose it. That's a nice touch. Another cool storage feature here is for your rip fence. You got two little tabs right down there. You pop this thing off and you stick it right in place and it stays right there for storage. Pretty slick. Another nice feature are your two wrenches that you use to install and remove your blade. They're kept here nice and tightly. You got a little plastic lock nut on there, so when you're done using them, you put them right back in place, you never lose them. Now it's important to note that this did not come with a blade. I bought the Red Bauer 10-inch blade for this at Harbor Freight. It was like 13 bucks. And putting your blade in is real simple. Basically, you take your blade guard off by lifting it out, and then you just pop this plate up and lift it right out of the way. And then it's pretty simple. You have a nut, you got a washer, you have your blade. Just make sure your teeth are going in the right direction, and you use the wrenches included with the saw for removal and installation. Okay, for size, this thing measures 2 by 2 exactly, and I'm not the strongest guy in the world, but this thing's pretty easy to lift and move around. Quite lightweight, so if you gotta move it around from job to job, it shouldn't be a problem. So how loud is this thing? Well, I got my decibel meter right there, and we'll see how loud this thing is by just turning the machine on and letting the blade run. Alright, as you can probably see, this thing cuts really well. I did some Pergo floor, I did a couple regular 2x4s, I did some tongue and groove boards that I joined together, and this thing cut like butter. So I think for a $150 saw, actually for any saw in that respect, it cut really well. I certainly hope this review and this video helped you guys if you're considering purchasing one of these so you can get a good idea what it looks like. Appreciate you watching. You guys take care.